Hey friends, this is Derrick Broze with the Conscious Resistance Network, and I'm back. Today we are going to talk about Jeffrey Epstein's co-conspirators. We are focusing even more than ever on them, particularly Jean-Luc Brunel. But before we get to that, I want to remind you guys to bookmark theconsciousresistance.com. You may notice it looks nice and clean and new. It is finally updated with all of our latest content, articles, videos, etc. So check that out. Get lost in there. As I've told people recently, this website was created in 2013. So if you're just now discovering me, or kind of on your early in your journey, I do recommend diving deep. Come here, look through the videos tab. It'll just spit you out interviews, reports, my live show. Look up my books. Check out the articles in here. There's so much to read. There's so much to dive into. Get lost on our website and start getting woke, if you will. Just start, informing yourself, basically. And also subscribe on Minds, follow on Steemit, Discord, join our text list. Follow on BitChute, and if you want to support through patreon.com/Derrick Broze or Subscribestar, feel free to do so. So in a recent video about almost a month ago, we did called Zeroing In on Epstein's Co-Conspirators. And we were talking about the women accused of helping Epstein, as well as Jean-Luc Brunel, who is the owner of the modeling agency M2, who I also discussed in my documentary, Bringing Down Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, I can't even spell. Have you guys seen that, by the way? Have you guys seen Bringing Down Jeffrey Epstein? Let's see if it pops up when we search for it. Well, even though I spelled it wrong. Showing results for Bringing Down Jeffrey Epstein. Isn't this funny? Just kind of a little look. We searched the exact title of my documentary, and nowhere to be found. Isn't that interesting? Oh, you got to go all the way down here. 582,000 views. Oh, all the way down. Even if you just search the exact title and you spell it right, Bringing Down Jeffrey Epstein, you still get Miami Herald, CBS, Today Show, CBS, MSNBC, CBS, Washington Post, Miami Herald, Today Show, Miami Herald, MSNBC, Today, CBS, NBC, Democracy Now! Seems like I'm noticing a pattern here. CBS, Bloomberg, Inside Edition, Miami, CBS, MSNBC, AP, blah, 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 blah. Still, where is my documentary? This time it's not even, we spelled it right and it's not even found. You have to go all the way down here. Anyways, in that documentary, I talk about Jean-Luc Brunel. So we now have some new reports coming from a few outlets discussing Jean-Luc Brunel and his role in this whole Epstein thing. Apparently, he has been found. People have been wondering where the hell he went. Jeffrey Epstein model agent pal Jean-Luc Brunel found in South America. The modeling agency agent accused of scouting young women for Jeffrey Epstein has been located in South America, according to new reports. Jean-Luc Brunel has vanished recently after Epstein allegedly committed suicide. However, the Telegram recently reported that Brunel has been found, citing reports in Le Parisien. It's also unclear whether prosecutors have spoken to him. Earlier this week, French authorities announced that they wrapped up searches of his Karen model agencies in Paris, as well as Epstein's home on Avenue Foch in the City of Light, a part of their investigation. Epstein financed Brunel's Miami-based modeling agency, MC2, and Brunel, a longtime pal of Epstein, flew on his private island and visited him in jail in Florida, he also stands accused of sexually assaulting some models himself. So he's more than likely on the run. He's trying to hide out. We do have this one. This is, I think, the original Telegraph report, saying that police searching Paris flat of sex offender Epstein and his model agency friend. So they're starting to go dig through what happened in France and what Epstein was up to in France. British Epstein victim Sarah Ransom recounted how she tried and failed to swim several miles from a 70-acre Caribbean island owned by Epstein called Little St. James after months of abuse. I had been raped 3 times that day, and a shark would have been my best friend at that point. I didn't even think about it. It was just get me away. But Epstein has installed video cameras all over the island, she says, and within minutes of her setting out a team, had appeared to try and persuade her to return the house. She filed lawsuit against Epstein as well as Maxwell and other people. This case has been settled out of court. But now more cases are coming up. People are trying to point the finger at Jean-Luc Brunel. And again, his modeling agency, M2 modeling agency, however you want to say it, is a key piece of the puzzle. Because you notice Jeffrey Epstein, he is connected to, Mar-a-Lago. We know that that's at least where one woman is recruited. We know that Epstein is connected to Jean-Luc Brunel, who is doing the modeling agency in France. We know that Epstein is also connected to Leslie Wexner, which we've talked about here on our channel. If you don't know that, search Leslie Wexner on our channel or our website. And the Leslie Wexner owned Victoria's Secret, which is Victoria's Secret fashion shows. And then, of course, we know that Donald Trump also was involved with the Miss America pageants and things of that sort. So these men who are tied up to Epstein, whether guilty or not, I'm just saying whether, I'm not saying because Trump was involved with modeling agencies, he's necessarily guilty, but there's a lot of patterns there. There's a lot of common ground there. Now, this is also an interesting little update I found. Jeffrey Epstein accusers have 6 months to file claims, according to court papers. A lawyer on the late multimillionaire's pedophile's estate case, William Blum, filed a notice to creditors and debtors Thursday in the probate division of Virginia Island Superior Court. It says, all persons with claims against the estate are required to present their claims within 6 months from the date of this notice on September 13th. The claims must be filed with a sworn affidavit and proof justifying that this person is owed a cut of over $500 million that Epstein has left behind. And anyone who owed money to Epstein must also pay up within 6 months. And of course, we know that Epstein, he signed his will from behind bars just 2 days before his alleged suicide. These terms were created. And I think this is all just a part of the cover-up. As I've talked about recently, I don't believe that Jeffrey Epstein is dead. I don't think that that's the case. I can hear both sides, basically, let me say that. Because if he is such a threat to certain people, then it is easier just to kill him in prison. And maybe, as I've talked about, it was the cop who's accused of murder, who was one of Jeffrey Epstein's cellmate. Maybe he got paid to do this, but at the same time, he said he has nothing to do with it, and that people are coming after him because he was trying to expose the deplorable conditions in the jail. So I don't know. Maybe it makes more sense to just kill him instead of keeping him alive. But maybe Jeffrey Epstein is just one of these people, nameless faces, who go on to create a new identity. Or, I don't know. We're just left with speculation at the point. And I hate that. I hate only having speculation, but that's what we got at the moment. So I need you guys to keep digging into this. We're going to keep digging into this. One more little update. Jeffrey Epstein's former sex slave visited him 90 times in jail. The sex slave is Nadia Marcinkova, which again is brought up in this documentary. We talk about Nadia Marcinkova and Sarah Kellen and some of the other people who are involved in Epstein's whole thing here. But Nadia Marcinkova is kind of the interesting case because she was apparently, according to Epstein and others who were around, she was 15 years old when she was brought to Epstein from Eastern Europe, specifically Yugoslavia, as his sex slave, and that by her early 20s she was still being, sexually abused. But I guess, she had kind of become a part of it. She started participating and helping, sexually abusing these other girls in front of Epstein while he masturbated. It says that Marcinkova visited Epstein 54 times while he was behind bars during his sweetheart deal. The Mail said it had logs showing the tally hovered around 90, although the woman's last name was spelled as Markor-Kona, the first name was the same. Marcinkova spent her early years having sex with Epstein and other girls who were below the age of consent. One of the girls told police that Epstein would direct her and Marcinkova during their sex sessions, with the teens employing strap-on dildos and other toys. The girls told cops she was left so sore by the encounters that she could barely walk afterward. Epstein would masturbate as he watched them, the victim said. So, just more details that, while Epstein was in prison, he was still getting visits from one of his sex slaves. So, yeah, what else could we expect in this injustice system? So now any accusers have 6 months to file. And as I've told you guys recently, the judge in one of the cases decided not to void the non-disclosure agreement. Basically said that, the Crimes Victim Rights Act was violated, but we're not going to void that. So that puts a big roadblock on the victims being able to find actual justice. Not to mention now that the case against Epstein has been officially closed. So, for all intents and purposes, Jeffrey Epstein is done, over, and now we move to focusing on some of his other co-conspirators, like Jean-Luc Brunel, who, again, I think is a key part of this puzzle, and that's probably why he's on the run to South America, or he's hiding out wherever. We'll see if anything actually comes of this. I will keep an eye and ear on it. But I will once again recommend, if you have not seen our Jeffrey Epstein documentary, or if you haven't seen it in a while, give it a good watch, because this came out November 1st, 2018, before the Miami Herald investigation, before everybody started asking these questions. We were ahead of the curve, and because of you, this video has almost 600,000 views, and I'm very thankful for that. Thank you guys for the support. If you want to continue supporting, I do want to ask you to support the last few days of our crowdfunding campaign for the Conscious Resistance. Support the future of the Conscious Resistance. As I told you guys yesterday, some really awesome support has come through. You guys are just kicking ass. We're at 2,300. We have 4 days left. If anybody else wants to throw a couple of bucks our way to make this easier for me to keep going, please consider doing so. And that's it for now. Like, follow, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until next time, remember, you are powerful, you are beautiful, and God damn it, you are free. Peace.